Exactly 13 months to the day since George Floyd was killed, the former police officer, Derek Chauvin, will be sentenced. Chauvin was filmed by a bystander kneeling on Floyd's neck for 9.5 minutes. In April, Chauvin was found guilty of all 3 charges against him, second and third degree murder, as well as second degree manslaughter. His fate is now in the hands of Judge Peter Cahill.
The judge did find, Judge Cahill, that there were several aggravating factors that merited an increased sentence. Most of us are thinking that it will now be more than 12.5 years as a sentence. Not inconceivable, it could be up to the maximum of 40.
On May 25, 2020, Chauvin was captured on video kneeling on Floyd's neck. The video went viral and sparked protests in Minneapolis, across the US and around the world. In March, the trial began amid tight security and witnessed some powerful and emotional testimony.
Oh my God.
Although the jury found Chauvin guilty of murder, the question remains as to what has actually changed since Floyd's death. Several state and local governments have instituted reforms to tighten policing, including enacting bans on chokeholds. But at the national level, movement is lagging. The George Floyd Justice in Policing Act passed in the US House of Representatives, but it remains stalled in the Senate. And for some Minneapolis residents, there is frustration.
Nothing has changed, and nothing is going to change.
It's either they can sign the George Floyd Act, right, or we'll act.
We're still shooting for them to pass these bills and pass these laws. And no, it's not happening quick enough. It should be, but at the same time, it's important. And so we're going to push urgency. We're going to keep fighting it back and forth.
It could be an emotional day in court, with Floyd's family and friends likely to make impact statements. But this is unlikely to be the end of the matter, with the potential of an appeal still possible.
It's put together a list of possible reasons for appeal, that the trial should have been moved, that there was juror bias, and they very well might also argue that there were several issues that took place within the trial that merit a new trial.
3 other police officers charged with aiding and abetting in Floyd's death face a state trial next year, while all 4 officers also face a separate federal case charged with violating Floyd's civil rights. Floyd's death sparked a national reckoning around systemic racism and police brutality. How these charges play out and the sentences handed down will be watched closely here and around the world. Dan Williams, CGTN, Minneapolis.